Hi, I'm Marcus, and this is Wake Up New Bedford. This is a little bit different from the ordinary episode, so bear with me. This is the first time, but I'm excited to explain why I'm doing this, what this is, and a little bit about who I am for those who don't know me and for those who know me but don't know that much about why I'm doing this show. So, from New Bedford, I'm 26. I have 5 siblings, and I went to Nativity Prep. I went to Kearney Academy. I didn't go to high school here. I went to this boarding high school in Concord, Massachusetts. But I went to the University of New Haven after that for a year, but then I had some family problems, and then I've been in New Bedford ever since until I spent a year and a half in the Army in 2021. I got back in 2022, and then I've been back in New Bedford since then in August. So I started this show last summer, so this is July in 2024. I had some free time. I am in school at BCC right now, and it started as a project, and I just had a lot of fun with it. But the purpose of Wake Up New Bedford, it has 3 primary goals. So first, I wanted to create some positive news about the city. Secondly, I wanted to highlight people's stories, because I think that we have a lot going on in New Bedford, and we need someone to try and shed the light on what's going on in a positive way. And then 3, and I feel like most importantly, I want to inspire others to do something creative and productive and positive. So my mission in a lot of the things that I do is to try and lead the youth and lead people, but primarily the youth, in order to get involved in the city, do something productive, because I know that so many people like me were lost, without direction, without purpose, and it can feel very lonely, it can feel very overwhelming, depressing, anxiety-inducing. And so I think we really just need more positive role models in order to show others that there's another way, and that we're not just doing this on our own, but we have help, we have people we can ask for advice, and like I said, role models to show us a different and better way of doing things. And so there's 2 main phrases I like to live my life by. I guess 3. Okay, so the first, I've been living for a while, and maybe I went a little bit overboard. So it's Hakuna Matata. Means no worries for the rest of the days. It's a problem-free philosophy, Hakuna Matata. So no matter what's going on in life, you gotta look and try and find the bright side, because life can be pretty depressing at times, and trying to take on everything all at once and look at the world and trying to be Superman or Superwoman, that is impossible. So you gotta find the bright side. But the 2 more important phrases are, be the change you wish to see in the world. And that's a quote from Gandhi I learned recently, but I added my own little twist to it at the end, and it's with love and honesty always. And the second phrase is a quote from Jackie Robinson, and it's on a bench in downtown New Bedford. And it says, "Your life has no meaning except the impact it has on others' lives." So couple those together, and with the sentiment I left the Army with was to be of service to those around you. And it really clicked once I got out of the Army, the important and very deep term of community service. You know, you may hear that all the time, and it may just think, oh, it's volunteering. But truly being a service to your community is so much more involved and impactful than it sounds off rip. So being a service to your community, being the change you wish to see in the world, but truly seeing that your life, the meaning of your life, is to have an impact on others' lives and to try and have a positive impact, if that. And so if you live your life like that, one, it'll be a lot more meaningful, a lot more peaceful, but a lot more purpose-driven. And some of that has to do with me finding faith. I think that faith would be great for everyone. It doesn't really matter the religion, but having faith in something and realizing that life in the universe is so grand that you're not the master of the universe. You have free will, but there's so many things that are out of your control, and it's not just okay, but that's life. There's nothing you can do about it. It can give you a proper set of values and morals, but it can really just give you a sense of gratitude, which has really changed my life. Along with being sober. I mean, adults can do what you want, and I mean, everyone can, but sobriety has really changed my life in ways that I never would have thought possible. And so with being a Sunday school teacher, being a deacon, being sober, being on the Human Rights Commission, running for a school committee, being involved in the community, volunteering, learning more about the people in the city is me not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. And Wake Up New Bedford is really a big part of that. This is a hobby in a lot of ways. I don't charge the people and all my guests, but I've had closer to 40 interviews so far, and I really have tried to create something positive that people in New Bedford can root for and see as a platform for them to share their own story. Because like me, everyone has their own story. That we all have something to offer. Whether you think you're a celebrity, whether you think you're important or not, that you do matter. You're not alone. And you do have something to share with people, and people care. It can feel like they don't a lot of the time, and that's a little bit about why I started this show was, and I didn't even realize this until I had already done several interviews, that my passion for interviewing people really started out of insecurity of mine. One of my biggest insecurities, actually. And it was that when I spoke, when I told stories, when I was telling someone about my day or something that happened in the past or something I've thought about, I didn't feel like they were listening to me. I thought that they were just waiting for their turn to speak a lot of the time. And maybe that was the way that I was talking, or the uninteresting story, or just the person that I was talking to. Maybe it was just bad timing, but once I found a way to utilize that skill of listening to people, because people have said that because of that, I would not speak and I would just listen. And people said, oh, you're a good listener. Well, I wonder why. But once I realized I'm a good listener, and I was always a really curious kid and could ask good questions, then I just made something productive out of it. And so now I interview people, and they really enjoy the interview. They enjoy the questions that I ask, and I find myself being of value to people, which feels amazing. It really does. It's honestly life-changing. And I think everyone should find a hobby, and people should make goals for themselves. I am a dreamer. For a lot of people who know me, they may think I'm an idealist, but life is too short to think small. And so my 3 goals for this year, I have already achieved one of them. And so my 3 goals were to join the Human Rights Commission, to become a police officer, and to run for the school committee. And so I have become a part of the Human Rights Commission, which is to help receive complaints and to work with the city council's office and with the mayor's office in order to find answers for people and to help mediate people's complaints and concerns about the city. And I want to become a police officer because I think that's just something I'll be good at, along with a long-time goal of mine to protect my family, protect the people that I know in the city. But I joined the Army in order to learn more, so it can further me in law enforcement. And I really try to be honest and be a person of integrity and have character. That's something that my dad always tried to teach me, to be an honorable man. And so I think that our police department is better than many in the country, but I think that it's a job that needs good people. I mean, you can have an employee who works at McDonald's or Macy's, and they don't have to have the highest integrity in order to get their job done and then go home, and it's not like the customers will care all that much. But I was saying this to someone at work, for police officers, for pilots, for surgeons, for certain jobs, for architects, you're not able to have bad apples. There will be very immense consequences for the mistakes of those people. And so I think that every police department can have more integrity, more character, and be more involved in the community. And ours, like I said, is doing better than many, but I think that there's always room to improve. And then last and definitely not least is joining the school department and joining the school committee. So, like I said, I worked at Nativity. Well, I went to Nativity in middle school, which is an all-boys school in downtown New Bedford, and it was an amazing experience. And I got a chance to volunteer there in 2023, and then I worked there as a paraprofessional in the following year in 2024. And hats off to teachers, man. It is a difficult job, to say the least. And I wasn't even the teacher. I was just helping in the classroom, and I was a part-time janitor. And I enjoyed it a lot. And the kids are phenomenal. And they could be challenging at times, but they have so much potential and so many different perspectives that we end up losing as we get older. And having seen that, but then also seeing how children are being challenged right now in the world, and they're dealing with consequences that they didn't, and problems that they didn't create. And I really feel for them, because they should be given all the tools to succeed and become the adults that they wish to, and become important members of society and the community that they're able to. But it all starts at home and at school and in their environments that they grow up in. So I'm just trying to be the positive role model that they can depend on, and the resource that they can use and talk to and learn from. And I've made plenty of mistakes, but I've really tried to learn from them and to apply myself and learning more about what it will take to be the proper role model that these kids need. And so many people in politics or in the school committees are much older. Like I said, I'm 26, so I very much plan to bring a more fresh or more relevant or more modern take on a lot of the issues and policies that will come across as a school committee, as a police department, and do my best to always put the people of New Bedford first and the students first. Along with advocating for the young people's voice, that we need to vote, okay? And that is, if anyone can take away one thing from this, is to vote. That goes for the young people, be informed. That goes for the middle-aged people. Continue to vote and impress how important it is to your children. And for the old people, please listen to the young people. Let us not underestimate them and underestimate us and what we have to offer, but try and inform us so that we can properly receive the torch that you will eventually have to pass on. That at some point, this is going to be ours to lead and to hold and cherish this world, this country, the city that we live in. And a big reason for why I'm doing all of this, why I started Wake Up New Bedford, is because I saw a void. I saw a void in the positive news in the city, that we have different social medias, we have different radio stations or a regional news network, but what of New Bedford was trying to share the positive stories that we have here? And so I couldn't think of one, and so I made Wake Up New Bedford. Why I got into politics, it's been my dream to go into law enforcement. I didn't see a future in myself for politics, but why I'm running for school committee, why I'm in the Human Rights Commission, is because I'm seeing a lack of youth representation, a lack of youth involvement, and it wasn't always like that. When you think back to the civil rights movement, when you think back to the protests in Vietnam, they were led by the youth. That they were so charged up, informed, and not taking no for an answer, and involved in the community, that they were able to truly make change that moved the country, moved the world. And now it's a different time, but that doesn't mean that we have to have a different energy. We really should be using our voices, using our energy, using the information that's at our fingertips, that we can be and are the most informed generation that's ever existed. That no other generations that are older than us have these opportunities that we have. And I know we're struggling. I know that, at least in America, that we're the first generation in American history to be expected to do less than previous generations and our parents. We have many challenges ahead of us, but I know that we can do this. And speaking about challenges, please let us get involved in the environment. I really care about the environment, and I think more people should. It's not that I just don't like litter, okay? But we, in our generation is probably the most important in American, in the world's history, because in these next 30 to 40 to 50 to 100 years, the world can either wipe the human race out of existence, or we can flourish and build a longer history and a longer future for us. But climate change is happening, and there's still time to do something about it, but it is up to us to take that action. It is so important for us to take action, to be informed, and to talk about it. that not one person can change the world, but one person working with others can do amazing things. So it starts with being informed. It starts with being passionate about something, being informed, and then taking action, which is something I truly advocate, and that's what I stand for. And not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Along with being informed about people around the world. The world is so big. That's something I'm grateful for going to a boarding high school is I got to see so many different people. You know, people from around the world, different countries, and especially with being in the Army I was trained in Georgia and then sent to Hawaii, and the world is so big and so much bigger than just New Bedford. So let us not just be stuck in this bubble and be discouraged or be uninvolved in everything else that's going on. It will encourage you in all of your efforts to know that you are not alone in this fight, that so many people around the world feel the exact same way and are trying to do something about it. So let us know what our neighbors are struggling with, whether it's in Gaza or in Palestine, which they are struggling heavily. And for anyone who doesn't know what they're going through, please look into it. Or what's going on in Sudan, or Haiti, or Jamaica, or so many different places in the world. The list goes on, okay, in Congo. So I know that politics can be divisive, and I know that it can be depressing. That's one of the main reasons for why I don't really bring up politics on the show. But I have plenty of opinions, and if you would like to talk to me more about them off air, I would be happy to. But I try to make Wake Up New Bedford centered around positivity and around people's stories and trying to shed light about what we have here so that other people know that New Bedford is a place of creativity, of love, of history, and that no matter all of the negative news that is shared in New Bedford, whether it's between us or other cities are putting on this image upon us, that we are so much more than that. I'm so much more than that. Just as a black man in New Bedford, I am so much, and so are you, for all those who are watching. Whether you're here in New Bedford or in the South Coast or in America, you are so much. You matter, and you're not alone, and you too have a story. So if I can leave you with a message in these last few minutes that I have with you, that it is to think about what you're good at. Think about everyone has something to offer, that none of us were made to be the same, and none of us are. Whether you believe we have a creator or not, no two people are the same. So find how you're different and make that a strength. Find what you're passionate about and pursue it. That life is too short. You may go tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised, so cherish today. And let us not live in the past. Let us try and learn from it. That's what life is truly about. That's what wisdom is. The difference between intelligence and wisdom is having knowledge and then applying what you've learned. That you can have read all the textbooks in the world, but if you aren't applying that knowledge to your actual life, then are you wise? Why did you even learn it? So I have learned a lot in my past, in my short 26 years, even though it feels like so long. And I truly try to apply those lessons to my daily life. And I couldn't have dreamed that I'd be here and that I could speak to you with no script, with just a camera, but it is a daily challenge to be better and to grow and to have these goals and to strive for them. Because we all should. Life is too short to think small. Aim high. Everything worth having in life you'll have to work for. Something that my church taught me is that God didn't promise it'll be easy, but he did say it will get better. And so strive for better. Even if it's just 1% more a day, strive to be better than you were yesterday. Don't compare yourselves to other people. Compare yourself to your past self. And I promise you, life can be so much more peaceful, so much more purposeful if you center yourself in gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. I'm grateful just for my health. Every day I wake up, I thank God for just waking me up. So many people go in their sleep. That's not funny. But I laugh about how annoyed I am by having a stuffy nose. I enjoy having good, deep, clean breath so much, and it can shift my mood. So I thank God just for my health, for just being healthy. I don't take that for granted. It's the smallest things, to living with my family, and that we have a house, and that if it wasn't for that, I don't know where I'd be. I might be homeless. I know so many people are going through so much worse and would kill for the life that I have. And so be grateful. As J. Cole says, love yours. Whatever you have, love it and cherish it. Because there is always someone who wished that they were where you are. And it really took me being in the Army to realize, even on the biggest scale, not just having a stuffy nose, but having all of your limbs. There are people who are in wheelchairs, and I think to myself so often how my mood would be different, or how my motivation would lessen if I wasn't as capable as I am. And for those who are dealing with these impairments and dealing with these disabilities, it is truly a challenge. So let us help those who are struggling or are being challenged by life. We're all in this together, people. We're all human. And when you think about people across the world, realize that they're people just like you. They put on their pants just like you do. They wake up the same way. So that's why it's so important for us to share our humanity with everyone who's struggling. And it may seem like a daunting or impossible task, but just start with something. And not to say that you can change their whole life by being across the world, but at least it can give you more of a sense of gratitude, and at least you could talk about it and share your perspective with others so that we can have power in numbers. So I leave you with this. I'm running for school committee, so please keep that in mind. If you want to learn more about what I stand for, please reach out to me. I plan to be a police officer in New Bedford, and I'm on the Human Rights Commission. So reach out if you have any complaints or concerns about what's going on in the city, and I'd love to be a resource for you. Thank you for listening. I love you all, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Wake Up New Bedford.